Good morning, friends. How is everyone doing this beautiful morning? It is really nice and beautiful here. It's currently like 40 something degrees, which, hey, a little bit cold, but better than normal. That I am on day 4 or 5 now. What is today? I don't even know. Of like working from home. So far it's going good. How's everybody? Is everybody well? Like, are you like health-wise well? Let me know all that down in the comments. If you are new here, then hi. My name is Carrington. If you are not new here, then hi. Welcome back. If you enjoy all things makeup and sprinkling in some true crime here and there, then definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button, click the little bell so you be notified of all my future uploads. If you enjoyed this type of video, then make sure you do give this video a thumbs up. And let's go ahead and let's dive right on in. I was on, no, actually I wasn't even on. I had gotten an email from Ulta. I am a platinum member. Or is it diamond? What's the one, the most that you can be? I think it's diamond potentially, or platinum. I can't remember. But I'm like the most that you could, like the highest level of Ulta, right? And so I do like to sometimes like check out their like emails that they send me, because you can get like, 5 times the point, 10 times the points on things. I do like that. You get little like coupon codes and stuff like that in your email. So I had gotten an email from them, so I opened it up, and it was earn 5 times the points on top rated makeup from Ulta. Top rated 2021 makeup from Ulta. So I hopped online because I'm all about doing like 5 times the point and 10 times the points on makeup products. So I hopped on over, and needless to say, there was a lot to choose from. But I wanted to make sure I got some things that maybe I didn't have or didn't have the correct shade of or something like that to try out. So we are going to do a face. I don't necessarily think I have everything for like a full face of the 2021 top rated Ulta makeup according to Ulta. So if you want to see what all the products were that I purchased, how well I like them, then definitely keep on watching. First things first, if you guys are like, Carrington, it's January and you're wearing a jack-o'-lantern cardigan, we're getting ready for October. Like, we're already preparing for Halloween now. Halloween is a very important holiday. It takes months and months and months of preparation. Okay, also joking, but seriously, I love Halloween, so like I will wear this all year round and not feel guilty. And I am wearing this all year round. Also, shout out this cute little necklace that my kids bought me. Well, actually, this one was from my daughter. My son got me another one, but I love this. I love this so much. Okay, so first things first, I don't think this was on there as top rated, but this is such a good eye primer. This is the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer. I don't hear anybody talking about this eye primer, but let me tell you, this is such a good eye primer. I did a battle of the eye primers last year sometime, where I like tried 10 or 11 or 12. It was like between 10 and 12 different eye primers. Ones that people rave about all the time. From like the P. Louise, the Urban Decay, this, Milani. Like, there was just so many that I tried out just using plain concealer. Like, just tons and tons and tons of different like eye primers. And I did a wear test. I did my makeup. I did all day wear tests with them. I wore them for a week, trying different ranges of shadows from like high-end, luxury, drugstore, maybe shadows that aren't that great quality to shadows that are fantastic quality. I slept in my makeup one night with each of the eye primers just to see, how well they performed. And this was so incredible. I will link that video down below. It's a long video, but it's really, really informative, especially if you've like hooded, like I do, droopy, downturned eyes, such as myself. Super helpful. So this should have been on a top rated makeup, because that is so good. So then for lip prep, because I should probably go ahead and like prep my lips now, they had the Hangover, the Too Faced Hangover RX Pillow Bombs. You had this as an option. You could buy them individually, like the individual flavors that they have. This is like, I think these are like minis in comparison. I had already bought one. So I bought another one because this was also on sale. It was like 50% off. The full-size ones, like the ones that you could probably get all year round, were not on sale. But this was on sale for like $15. So I was like, oh, I'll just pick up another one. So I'm not going to use the one that I'm not going to open one. But as you can tell, like this is definitely like a mini. But this was top rated. And this is so good. Like, it's so nice to like prep your lips. I love it. In terms of eye products, we've got a couple of things going on. So first of all, this was a newer release. I think I'm not really 100% for sure when this released, but this was on the list already. So I picked this up. This is the NYX Ultimate Queen eyeshadow palette. I do have the Ultimate Utopia one. I love that one. So you have this right here. It's definitely like more of like a neutral kind of a vibe. So here are like all the shades. It's very like a very, very straightforward neutral type palette. But when you bought that, you got, I think you spent so much. You got, I think it was like $35 purchase or something like that. You got this for free. I don't own this either. I don't think I'm going to use this today. I can use this at another time because I have lots of videos coming up. So we can definitely use that again. But then for on the eyes, they had these Bobbi Brown Longwear Cream Shadow Stick. I got mine in Nude Beach. I don't really wear a whole lot of like cream shadows. This is what it looks like. Let's swatch it. Okay. Interesting. So it's like a matte kind of like beige type color. We could maybe incorporate that. Let's go ahead and let's see what happens when you put this on. Okay. So first things first, it's going on my eye, but it just looks like my eye color. So now we're going to open up this Queen palette. We're going to see what we can get into. What disaster we can get into. Let's go ahead and let's start off with this shade right here. There are no shade names. It's just literally 1 through 40. So let's go ahead and we'll coat that on the brush. Has some slight kick up. Coats the brush nicely. I will leave the prices of everything up on the screen, but I know for a fact these eyeshadow palettes from NYX, you get 40 shades and they're $35. So I feel like that's fairly priced for how many shadows you get, and the quality is decent too. Alright, next shadow that I want to go into is, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go on into the shade right here. And, ooh, that one had a little bit of more fallout than the other one. And just focus that in like my crease area. Then I'm going to go into the shade right here for the outer corner portion. So far, these shadows are blending nicely together. They are nice and they are pigmented. I'm not having to go in, you know, more than once or twice. Oh, that's really pigmented. More than like, you know, once or twice. It's really good quality palette, especially like if you're looking for like a really good drugstore neutral palette. I know it's $35, but you get 40 shades for $35. Okay, that's less than $1 per shade. That's not bad. And you get a wide variety. I think this would be a really, really good option for that person that's looking for this. That kind of a large palette, lots of neutrals from the drugstore. That's like super affordable. This is definitely going to be that palette. So for the lid, I just want to go in with one shade. I want to go into this shade right here. That looks so beautiful. Oh, and it's really nice and soft. So I like that. And I didn't go in with my NYX glitter primer like I normally do because we had placed that shadow stick down and it does have a little bit of tack. So I want to see how well it adheres the shadows. But this is really, really beautiful. Wow. That's a really beautiful gold shade. I mean, wow, that's nice. I like that. I think that turned out so well. Obviously, I'm not done. We have the lower lash line that we need to come back and do. Okay, so I did not get any primers. I don't remember there being a lot of primers. Was there? You know what? I don't know. Let's go jump into the ones from my Project Pan. So we've got the e.l.f. Mint Primer. It says Mint Cooling Primer. I am here to tell you I don't know anything about it being like that cooling. And the Beauty Bakery Pore Filling Primer. So we'll just take a little bit of each. Alright, so for foundation, I did purchase one of the foundations, but it's one that I have tried before on camera, but we'll still go over it. It is the Too Faced Born This Way Matte Foundation. I had got mine in the shade Seashell, and that was really, really dark and orange. So I got the shade Cloud this time. This is supposed to be for the fairest of the fair with some rosy undertones. Now, I'm going to preface this portion by saying that yeah, that's going to be a perfect shade match, actually. That I have really dry skin. Like, dry skin. So you're probably like, if you have super dry skin, why do you have a matte foundation? I don't know what it is about this foundation. Truthfully. But it just doesn't tend to be so matte that it dries out my skin. Like, it just sets on it so nicely. I've heard people that have more oily skin say that they didn't really care for this for their oily skin, especially for it to mattify, which is the reason why I tried it, is because I had heard a lot of people that were oily saying this wasn't good for oily skin, and I've heard some people that, you know, claim to be more dry say that they actually liked this. Like, it gave like a nice soft matte kind of whatever, and it didn't dry out their skin. So for concealer, I got the ABH Magic Touch Concealer. I have never tried this. Mine is in the shade 1, but this was on the top rated for Ulta. So here's what it looks like. I'm sure a lot of people have tried this. I've heard... Okay, this is an interesting doe foot. So here's like the doe foot. It's got like this weird, like, I don't know, dip in it. Like the top of it has a little dip. So I have never tried this, but I heard it's really nice and creamy. And I love things that are nice and creamy. Oh, should I have said that? Well, too late now. Start with the nose. Do I love this? I'm trying to decide if I love this. So, one, it is I mean, it is really creamy. Look how hydrated it makes my under eyes look. And this is where it's like blowing my mind. My under eyes are dry. My under eyes have wrinkles. Like, see, they got some little wrinkles in here. It's not overly emphasizing my wrinkles. And it makes my under eyes look hydrated. Like, they don't look heavy. And I feel like sometimes with concealers, it can really make your under eyes look really heavy before you even set powder. And that's not the case with this. Like, this makes my under eyes look so hydrated. I think I love that. I think I love that. Okay. So then for cream bronzer, we have the ABH Cream Bronzer. This is in the shade Sunkissed. I think this is the lightest shade that they had. So we'll see how well this works. So here's what the little component looks like. I'm not going to lie. The little component is kind of cute. Okay, and here's the inside of it. Okay. Wow. This is, I don't necessarily know it's too orange. More like it's too yellow. Like, I'm kind of sitting here like, what is going on? I look like I have jaundice. This is very yellow. Okay, it's blending out nicely. Like, it's really nice and creamy, same as the concealer. Like, it's nice, it's creamy, like, it blends out beautifully. I don't necessarily, so for this video I will leave it like this, but honestly, if we were talking like every day, I would put a powder bronzer over this to warm it up a little bit, because this is like yellow. So now we're going to move on to a cream blush, which is also from ABH. It is one of their blush sticks. This is in the shade Latte. So, nice, sleek packaging. They have a little brush on this end. I'm not going to use that. But definitely nice and muted. So, let's see how well. It's another really good product. It's really nice. Blends out beautifully, seamlessly. No issues. Doesn't really emphasize a lot of my texture. It's really nice. It's a really nice muted color. I'm going to try taking some more on like the back of my sponge and see if that'll maybe pump up the volume, the jam up here. There we go. Yep, that's what we needed to do. We just needed to pump up the jam here. This is a really beautiful shade. I think ABH killed it with their cream products. Like, no wonder these were rated #1. I'm not gonna lie. So far, I'm not hating really any of the products that I've used so far. So I'm not gonna, go over with like powder, bronzer, or blush. But for highlight, then we have these Stila Heaven's Hue Highlighter. I got mine in the shade Opulence. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't tried anything from Stila in a really long time. I'm sitting here trying to think of like when was the last time I used something from Stila. But here's what it looks like. Oh, it's really nice and soft. Okay. It looks glittery. It looks glittery. Okay. I'm going to take my highlighting brush. And see what happens. Okay. And I wouldn't say it overly emphasizes my texture either. I mean, most highlighters are going to emphasize your texture, but when I look at it, it's not like some highlighters I feel like I'm immediately drawn to my texture. And with this one, I don't feel like I am. Like, I feel it's really, this is good too. Such a good product. So now it's time for the lower lash line. And I feel like I could do like what I did up on like the upper lash line, but I kind of want to do something slightly different if I can get it open. So what I want to do is take this shade right here, this gray shade, and I'm going to start smoking that on the lower lash line. And just really focus on smoking it out. I think I'm going to take that darkest shade that we had used up on our lash line, and I'm going to focus that as well. Alright, it's right along that lash line. The inner corner, I think I'm going to go into the shade right here, which is nice and light, and just pack that into the inner corner and bring it a little bit out as well. I think that's everything that we have to try. I did buy a Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. I feel like that's like #1 all the time. And this is in the shade Warm Light #3. Warm Light Brown. I've tried shade 4 and that was too dark. And I thought 3.5 might be too dark too. So I'm going to try 3. And I'm going to do my brows off of camera. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup off of camera. Come back. And then we will talk about my final thoughts. Alright. I am back with the completed makeup look. What are your guys' thoughts and opinions on how the look turned out? Do you like it? Do you not? Let me know your thoughts, but let's go ahead and let's dive on into some of my final thoughts on what we tried today. Let's go ahead, let's start off with the Stila Highlighter. So this is actually a really decent highlighter. It does have some glitter to it, you know, it can... Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I've like, you know, done the rest of my makeup, I don't really see any glitter. Like now, like I did originally when I first put it on, and I don't know if you can tell on camera or not, like it's very, it kind of just appears a little bit glittery. And it appears very light, but I was able to really get a really beautiful glow with it, and I don't really notice any glitter now. Does not emphasize my texture, like overly emphasize my texture. I feel like all highlighters will emphasize some part of your texture, but I don't feel like it overly emphasized any of my texture. I haven't purchased anything from Stila in such a long time, and I'm really happy that I purchased this. I think this is a great highlighter. I think that this would be perfect for somebody that wants a very... somewhat of, you know, not overly blinding, but also not super lit from within either. I feel like it's kind of in the middle. Want something like that that's not super glittery, doesn't emphasize your texture, and just lays beautifully on the skin. I got mine in the shade Opulence. I know there are other shades, but I definitely got mine in the shade Opulence, and that is so beautiful. Okay, this Abh Cream Bronzer is probably my least favorite thing that I tried today, and that's saying a lot because I feel like all the products were good. And this is a good product. The reason why it's probably my least favorite is because it just looks so yellow. I don't know what it is. Like, I look like I have jaundice with this on. It just looks like I have jaundice on. It looks like I have jaundice on. Wow. It looks like my skin is jaundice. But I will say this is so creamy, buttery, smooth. I mean, it just went on beautifully. It provided some hydration, blended out with ease, went on with ease. I think this is a really, really good product. I'm going to try to see if I can go into Ulta and see if, and see if my Ulta has like this in stock, and if I can actually like try them out, just because I mean, look how yellow that is, because I need something a little bit more cool tone. I feel like this is very warm. I don't know, I tried to go based off the description it gave. So yeah, I think this is just like the only reason I don't like this, and this is my least favorite, is just because of how yellow it is. But it's just so creamy and so blendable that when I get a shade that works for me, I know I'm gonna love it. This was a good purchase too. All right, we have the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balms. Again, I think these are really, really good. I like these. I think they're very nice and hydrated. They come with like different scents, different shades. So those are definitely ones that I really like. I've already purchased those before this haul, but I purchased another set just to have because I really do like it. Next up, this Too Faced Born This Way Matte Foundation. I think it sets really nicely on the skin. I'm glad I finally have a shade that matches me. It's the lightest shade that they have, and it matches. It works perfectly. But I think if you have really oily skin, I don't necessarily know that this is probably going to be the matte foundation for you. I would say if you have dry skin and you would like something that's a little bit more mattifying, because I feel like with dry skin I'm always trying to go for something glowy and dewy. But if you want something that's a little bit more mattifying, but you don't want it to be too overly matte where it's kind of like ruining your makeup or looking really heavy, I think this is great. I really like this. If you have normal combination skin, I think you will like this as well. I think it's just if you have a lot of oil in your skin that you probably aren't going to like this. They do have a really large shade range. I was finally able to get me the correct shade, so I do really enjoy that as well. This brow pencil, I was nervous because it said warm brown, but I don't feel like it's overly warm to me, truthfully. So I feel like this was probably a really good shade match. I think 3 is probably going to be the best for me. I had 4 before. I still think I still have 4 in my collection. But I think that's a little bit too deep of an option for me. In terms of this Bobbi Brown cream shadow in the shade Nude, here it is on my hand. I think it's decent. Again, I just don't really wear a lot of cream shadows just because it really does kind of crease on my eyes. But I will say I think it did a nice job of helping the glitter, the shimmer shade adhere. But it is starting to kind of crease in my lids. For me personally, I probably wouldn't get a ton of use out of this. Honestly, I don't really know if I'm going to be using it, if at all, after this. I mean, truthfully, it's all right. So I would say I was probably least excited for this. I thought it was going to be this, but then I remembered I had this, and I'm just, it's okay. In terms of the ABH cream blush, I feel like it does a lot better when you just like put it on the back of your sponge. But it's just really nice, really creamy, blends out beautifully, leaves like a nice dew on your skin, doesn't emphasize texture. None of the ABH products really seem to have emphasized any of the texture. Like it just turned out really beautiful. I think this is a really beautiful light nude shade. Definitely something I personally really like. I know there are more shades, but I personally really like this shade for like something like this where I'm just using some cream products just to put all over my face. I really do like that. I think it looks really good, really beautiful. This concealer shocked me. This concealer is probably one of my favorite things that I tried today. This probably is my favorite. I mean, all these products were good. Like, here's the thing, like, I'm like, dang, these are all really decently good products. But I think this one blew me away the most because I have really dry under eyes. I have I have some texture underneath my under eyes, but they don't look heavy or cakey or anything like that. Like, this is so good. Last thing to talk about, which is also really good. This is the NYX Ultimate Queen eyeshadow palette. Again, remember, it comes with 40 shades for $35. This was really pigmented. The matte shades were really buttery, really creamy. They worked really well together. I created this really beautiful look. The shimmers are really nice and beautiful. You have a lot of different like variety. You've got a little bit more like cool tone. Like I created a little bit more of like a cool tone on the eye. You have some warm tones. You've got, this is like a perfect neutral. I didn't try anything today that I hated. I didn't try anything today where I was like, oh, instant regret. No, that wasn't the case at all. This is all really, really good makeup, really good quality makeup. I'm really happy, really surprised with this. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you enjoy this type of content, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click the little bell if you have not yet already, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!